Testing, making sure everything is set up. Those of you who are watching, are we good? As usual, I opened it up a few minutes early just to make sure that anybody coming in sees that we're all up and running. I'll say it again, make sure you have space to move. Today is different. Yeah, this thing starts at 5. It's 5 minutes until 5. 4 minutes now. Make sure you have enough room to move, to do some basic like sidestepping, if you need to, some basic kicking, if you can. The idea for today is, going to be some warm-ups. We don't normally do that, at least I haven't, but I'm going to do it today. And then kick drills, going over the basics of your 7 basic kicks, how to do them. And then I actually wanted to do drills. I want to get people moving today. That's the goal. 3 in a few seconds. Everyone's a critic. So hi to all of you who are watching. Hi Miguel, hi Brianna, hi Zoe, hi Kovasis, hey Vacas Gomez crew. How you all doing? Good. So I'll repeat it again for the people who are just coming in. If possible, make sure you have enough space. This class is going to be a little more moving oriented with exercise and kicking, if possible. Yes, hi Zoe. If possible, make sure that you can move around, like down for a basic push-up without your feet bumping stuff. If you do a front kick, are you going to knock a vase off a shelf, for example? Ugh, we don't want that, right? Spinning kicks will be tricky. Big circles like that will be hard to do indoors, so I'll try to avoid stuff like that if possible. But I want to try to do a kicking class where we can kind of practice some drills. So it's going to be going over like basic kicks, combos, etc., but maybe stuff that we can do on a line, stuff that we can do rapidly in succession. Oh, different knots on different accounts. Okay. Hey. How are you, Hannah? Good. I trust everybody has room and space. And start loosening up. It's almost 5. Good. I have sort of a plan of what we're going to do today. I want to look at the structure of the cartwheel is a cartwheel. It's not that hard. My structured plan is kind of reviewing, after exercising some basic warm-ups, reviewing the 7 fundamental ways of kicking: front kick, axe kick, roundhouse, side kick, hook kick, and inside and outside crescent kicks. Those are the 7 archetypal kicks. And then variations on them, where sometimes we'll be doing skipping variations, sometimes turning variations, sometimes doubles, right? Where we don't just do 1 kick, where we pow, pow. But I want to do them in flows, not just on the count, not just 1 kick at a time, but more like kick, 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 where we're moving, getting a bit more, I don't want to say cardio, but a bit more life. Since we're all kind of staying at home, I want some hip movement, I want some kicks, I want some blood flowing. That is my goal for today. In the park. Okay. Okay. So it's about 5 o'clock. Everybody, if you'll indulge me, I'll assume that we'll all stand up together, heels together, toes apart. We'll do a bit of a formal, informal bow in and bow out. Hello, hello. So yeah, for the newcomers, make sure you have enough space. We're going to be doing exercise and kicking drills today. We're going to start by bowing in, heels together, toes apart, hands at your sides. Take a breath. Good. Judy up, hands at attention, and kunya. Good. Okay, So we want to warm up our entire body. Let's start by doing some jumping jacks. Let's go for 30, but we're going to do 10, 10, and 10 at a normal, fast, and normal speed. So 10, regular speed, 10, very fast, and then after that, 10 at a more normal speed. So ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, double speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and rest. Keep walking around when we're resting in between exercises. So if I'm explaining how to do a new exercise, you're not standing still, you're kind of moving. You're doing kind of what I'm doing right now. Instead of stopping and standing stationary, we have a little bit of movement, a little bit of life. Hello, other knowledge. Hello, whoever Coconut is. Hi. So instead of regular jumping jacks, now I want to do something called squat jacks. It's basically a jumping jack, but you do it from a squat position. Now there's two ways to do a squat jack, an easier way and a slightly harder way. You can do whichever one you want to. The slightly easier version. Make sure you're still moving around right now. While I explain, you all are still walking, moving freely, rolling shoulders, looking directions. There's two ways to do a squat jack. One is you stand neutral. You step into like a horse stance and put your hands up like a squat and do a jack. That's one way. The slightly easier way of doing, hey Lucas, that's the slightly easier way of doing a squat jack, where you squat and hands up like a jumping jack. The slightly harder way is that you're low, already in a squat with the knees together, and you go feet out and in, but you stay low the entire time, right? So, hello, Anna. Let's do that same pattern of jumping jacks, where we do 10 normal speed, 10 very fast, and then 10 normal speed, but we're gonna do them with squat jacks, right? Where we'll either squat in a jumping jack, or the harder version, low, out. Got it? So ready with me, starting in 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, stay low, 8, 9, 10, fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, stay low. 3, feel the leg burn. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rest. Good. And keep moving around. Twisting your shoulders side to side, your hips, your back. Hey, Matthias, Andrea, good to see you. Not good to see you, but good to see you in the comments. Lucas, Oscar, everybody. Good. Now, stretch kicks, I want to do them at different heights just to warm up our legs and our hammies. So we'll start pulling our legs up. A couple of things to consider. When you do so, and you do a stretch kick, it's very easy to kind of bend your back so your foot goes higher, right? I feel like my leg can go super high, but I'm curving at the low back because my leg isn't flexible and I'm kind of just bending at my hips to make myself get higher. Instead, try to keep yourself super straight. You can put your hands on your hips like this and lock it, right? And then lift your legs as high as they can go without feeling your hands rotate forward, right? You're almost like locking and holding your hips in place, right? So, ready? Stretch kicks with me, locking your hips in place. So maybe don't go so high, right? If I'm doing it locked in, that's about as high as I can go. Even though if I allow myself to kind of cheat through my low back, I can keep above my head easily. If I lock myself in, I'm just gonna go about waist height. We're doing that for a better stretch, right? So ready? Right leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And loosen up the hips. Roll around, roll around, roll around. I see more people are joining, so I'll remind everybody, make sure you have enough space to move around and do some basic exercises. The next thing we're going to do is ski squats or skiing squats. If you've never done one of those, it's not referring to like skis with 2 skis on your feet, more like ski skating, where you see people in the Winter Olympics, they're doing ski or speed skating or rollerblading almost. That's what this exercise is like, where you do a squat on one leg and the other foot goes back. So you see I'm stepping side to side. Now you can't really see my knee bending. What it is I'm actually squatting one leg low as much as I can, right? I'm going side to side. So we're gonna go for 10 on each leg. That'll be a total of 20. See if you can do it. And again, I can't see you guys, so I'm just trusting that people are doing the exercises. Do whatever you can, of course. If it's hard, breathe, stretch, and then jump back in when you're ready. But for right now, 20 ski squats, like so. So ready, starting. I'm gonna start on my left leg. You can start on either leg, that's fine. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 10. Good. Loosen up the hips again. I want to do one more kind of squat before beginning. One of my favorite types of squats. They're called kangaroo squats. What you do is you basically have your feet like a horse stance, except with the toes slightly outward rotated, hands down. And when you squat, and by squat, I mean stick your butt back. Don't put your knees forward above your feet, but stick your butt back. You're also going to tap the ground in between your feet every time you squat, right? And then when you come up, you're gonna do a hop, like you're a kangaroo. Now, when you do this squat, it's very important to make sure that you're not just bending forward at the hips and tapping the ground like this. That's not the goal. The goal is to keep your back as straight as possible and tap the ground by bending your knees. So, hello. Hey, Jubilee, Jericho, all of y'all. We're just about to do some kangaroo squats, so feel free to join us. We're gonna go for 25. Our feet are wide, toes are apart. As we squat by bending our legs, we tap the ground and give it a little hop. Ready? Joining with me, and 1, 2. You can bring your feet in if you want to, or not. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Keep your back straight. 10. Good. 11, 12. Hopping. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Almost there. 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Good. Loosen up the hips one more time. Good. All right. So, once again, I see some new faces. If possible, make sure that you have enough space to do some kicks without breaking anything. I know that can be tricky with people at home. So while you're finding space, that also includes people, by the way. Some of you guys have siblings you're training with. I know it's hard, but make sure you do not kick your brother or sister in the head. Or I don't know, how would I know, right? So I want to go over the fundamentals of the 7 basic kicks real quick. That when we integrate them into our combos, in our drills, etc. Yeah, while we are doing our drills, hopefully what we're not going to do is do bad kick form. So let's look at the first of the basic kicks, the front snap kick. If I stand sideways, a front snap kick is a pushing forward kick where we're striking with the ball of the foot. Now what the ball of the foot is underneath your big toe. It's the hard part right there, the big kind of round section. If you stand on your tippy toes and you're walking on your tippy toes, the part that's touching the floor besides your toes That's the ball of your foot. And when you're doing a front snap kick then, you really want to make sure when you do a front snap kick, you really want to make sure that the foot is forward, almost like you're dancing, but then the toes are pulled back. And the reason why the toes are pulled back, of course, is so that you do not hurt the toes when you kick. You don't want to bump your toes into something hard like a wall or a rock solid abs or whatever, because then you hurt your toes, pow, when you kick. Instead, you flex the toes back. The foot in full plantar flexion, pointed forward like a belly dancer, but the toes pulled back in extension, right? Good, 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 good. So to warm up, I'm gonna stand sideways so you can do it with me. A couple front snap kicks. We're gonna do each leg. So I say one, pow, and you kick the right leg. I say one again, and you'll do the left leg. I'll count 2 and 2, 3 and 3, and try to stay in the same place and alternate our legs. Yeah, following along, awesome. Making sure we have enough space to kick. We're just about to do skipping front snap kicks. I'm going to count out the front snap kicks. I'm counting 1, 1, and we're doing both legs. Now, one thing about a front snap kick is that it snaps very fast. It's in the name, right? Front snap kick, a kick that snaps to the front. It's almost like the name was designed to teach you what it is. So really make sure that you don't leave your leg extended and then drop it straight to the ground. That's going to slow you down. It's not going to make your kick fast, powerful. Some of the power comes from the whiplash. Pow, pulling your leg back. Pow, very fast, right? So make sure that you snap it, pull it back, put it down. Snap it, pull it back, put it down. Ready. Front snap kicks, hands up. Ready to do kick and kick. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10. Good, 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 good. Now pop quiz. What part of your foot were you hitting with? When you did them that fast, were you hitting with the ball of the foot under your big toe? Or were you kind of rotated and hitting with the ball of the foot under your pinky? These are the kind of things to be aware when you're kicking fast, because if you hit with the wrong side of your foot, you might turn your ankle over when you hit something. So keep that in mind. Good. Now, for the axe kick, the second one we're going to look at, the second of the basic kicks that I'll call, it's, and here I have Bob, my very helpful friend, to help me demonstrate. Most of you guys do not have targets at home, so don't worry. We're not going to be doing drills where you need a target. It's just if I need to demonstrate something with a target to help explain, that's what he's here for. So an axe kick is like, for example, say you're taking an axe. Let's pretend like this stick is an axe. This is the axe head. You're chopping wood with an axe. Pow, going straight down to the head. Pow, straight down to the collarbone. And we're using our foot to do the same thing. Pow, to the collarbone, or even pow, right to the head. So, a couple things to consider. If I face the front, an axe kick, contrary to popular belief maybe, it's not coming around in a circle like this, right? We don't want to use our little hip flexor muscles to do a big, powerful kicking motion because we'll strain our leg. So, make sure that you're doing forward, just like a front snap kick, pow, to the nose. And then after that kick to the nose, your leg comes straight down. If I hold this stick next to me and another stick next to me, what I can do, even with these two sticks right in front of me, is I can do a fast and powerful axe kick and not bump into these two sticks. If I was coming around in a circle, you see how now I wrapped around some kind of nonsense like this? No, not necessary. Instead, I come straight up like a front snap kick. Straight up like a front snap kick. Pow, pow, and then drop the heel. Pow. Good, 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 good. So, alternating legs, I'll count 1, pow. Then we'll do the other leg. 1, pow. I'm going to count a little slower for the axe kick than I did for the front kick so that everybody can focus on good form. Ready? Right leg, then left leg. 1, pow, 1, pow, 2, pow, 2, pow, 3, pow, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. Good, good, good. Now, as we do our kicks in confined space, I'm not sure how much space some people have, some become more than others. you want to, yeah, an axe kick, right? So the kick that we were just doing was an axe kick. Like when you break a board, the board is right here in front of you. What you're doing is you're picking your leg straight up and then dropping it, pow, down through the target. I'll try to show that a little slower. You come up and lower it. Come up and lower it. Yeah, yeah. So the goal is, it's a little tricky to see fast. It almost looks like you're riding a bicycle with the feet coming in and out like that. But the goal is almost to be hinging and moving a little bit forward when you do an axe kick to get a little more body weight and power. For example, if I'm standing behind this black line right now and do an axe kick without moving forward, pow, I just kind of stay where I am. But do an axe kick while moving forward, pow. Now I'm standing on the black line and my body weight fell into the axe kick. And maybe fell is the wrong word, but I do want my weight to assist in the downward pull. Good, good, good. So front kick and axe kick. Let's do a little bit of a flow where we mix the two together, right? If possible, I'm gonna go slow enough that you can do either way. If possible, I wanna skip back each time. Do right leg, pow, front kick, left leg, pow, axe kick. Front kick, pow, axe kick, and we'll switch. If the skipping back is a little too tricky, if skipping back is a little too tricky, then what you could do is just do a front kick and switch your feet, then do an axe kick with the other one, and then switch your feet, right? Or, once again, pow, pow, skipping a little faster. So ready, that's our flow. Front kick, axe kick, right, left, right, left. Ready? I'm gonna count 1, 2, 1, 2, where 1 is a front kick, 2 is an axe kick. Ready? If your ground leg pivots a bit, like pivots into outward rotation when you're doing one of these kicks, or like 45 degrees, that's okay. That's okay. So who's making that comment? That's probably Haley, right? Since the other two are on their own accounts. You have tight hamstrings, and you're probably just trying to pick your leg up very high. Yeah. And so you're picking your leg up very high, and because you don't have that flexibility, your body's turning to open up more space in your hips because you're tight in your hips, right? So maybe don't kick as high, but also if you do a little outward rotation, that's fine. Yeah, I knew it. So that's fine if you are a little tight, and because look, you're trying to pick your leg up as high as you can go, right? But tight hamstring can sometimes be a good thing for an axe kick, because what that means is the muscle is really taut. It's tight, it's pulling. And then when you release it, you don't even need to use your muscle to pull your leg down. It's just coming down because of the tension that's built up, like a coiled spring, right? Yeah, so maybe don't pick your leg up as high, but if your leg turns out slightly, that's all right. Just make sure you're going up and down with the kicking leg on a straight angle, right? I don't really worry too much if the back leg is slightly off right now. It may slow you down for the combo. So the combo is 1, 2, front kick, axe kick, front kick, axe kick. Ready? And 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2 more. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. I want to switch and do the same thing on the other side. So instead of right leg front kick, left leg axe kick, we're going to do left leg front kick, right leg axe kick. But otherwise, the exact same pattern, the exact same count. Okay, ready? I did 5 sets of 2, so 10 kicks. Just follow along until I say to stop. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, one more. 1, 2. Good. Now, there are, like I said, 7 basic kicks: front kick, roundhouse, side kick, axe kick, hook kick, inside and outside crescent kick. We did 2 of them: front kick and axe kick. Let's look at the roundhouse and the side kick and maybe leave it at that, and then just do some drills with those kicks. So roundhouse is a a swinging front kick. That's always how I like to describe it. Because what's really happening is if you remember a front snap kick, if you're standing, you one, pick up the leg, and two, snap it out, where the knee is doing most of the work, right? You're extending with your quad, pulling back in with your hammy, right? But what's happening is the leg is up, this top part stays stationary, and the bottom part, pow, does the work, if that makes sense. Well, for a roundhouse, it's essentially the same thing, just with the rotation first. So I'm up, then I turn over sideways. If I'm facing forward, you see that my knee is pointing right at the camera. It's not off to some other angle or sideways or crooked or anything. It's facing right forward. But then, staying still, the lower leg, pow, does all the work. So it's like a front kick, extends, pow, pow, in, out and in. The roundhouse kick is extending, pow, pow, out and in like so, right? And the trick is, and this time I do want you to turn your bottom foot and rotate it. This time you're turning your whole body sideways. So look at me facing the wall. When I'm doing the roundhouse kick, pop, my stomach is now facing you, facing towards the camera, because my whole body turned. Yes, good. So I come up and rotate, but my leg is still pointing forward towards the wall, my knees specifically, hello, hello, and then I do my roundhouse kick. So roundhouse kicks by themselves, just to make sure we're getting full hip rotation. One, pow, my body is facing this way. Now if I roundhouse kick with the other leg, I do the same thing. I don't pick it up way back here. I go straight forward like a front kick, then rotate so my body is facing the other way, and then pow, snap it out like so. So left leg, two, pow, and reset for the right leg. Three, whole body turn, the extension and flexion of the knee, right? Four, left leg, pow. And five, pow. Good. Oh, is that who that is? Coconut is Julia. Good to know. Okay. So as we do our roundhouse kicks, I want to do a way that we can practice roundhouse kicks at home with a little bit of control. So we're going to double these up immediately. Instead of doing like front kick, axe kick like we were doing before with the other kinds of kicks. Be careful, Caleb. Learn how to use them first. Maybe make some out of foam or something. Now, for the roundhouse kicks, we'll do doubles immediately. What that means is that we're going to come up, kick 1, 2, and then put it back down. The reason is, if we're doing a kind of sloppy kick where we're throwing our weight or not under control, we're going to fall down immediately and not have enough balance to do 2 kicks. But if we're more in balance and control, and we try to do 2 kicks, and we're stable now, it'll be easier to do 2 or 3 or more, right? I can sit here and roundhouse kick all day if I have control of my hips and balance and all these other things. So 2 kicks with the right leg, 1, pow, pow, good. Notice how my body, my foot, all these things are turning, so I'm very sideways. If you find yourself extending like this or like this, we might not be in roundhouse territory. If I'm doing a roundhouse straight down, look at how my back heel is going up, right? Like I'm from the Princess Diaries, and I just, right? And then I extend, pow, like that. Pow, but look at how my knee is pointing towards the floor the entire time. Pow, the lower leg is the only part that's doing any motion, right? That's the key. And if I do the same thing and just extend sideways, but that sideways extending isn't happening to the front, it's happening just to the side, right? Pow, then I snap kick, right? Good, 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 good. So that's true, that's spelling a medal, but that's besides the point. I hope we're all focused on doing the drills. So let's do it that way. Let's use our right leg first. So stand facing the camera with your right leg forward, right? Then from here, pull your heel back, pop, just like you might Prince Charming or whatever. Then open the hips so that your knee is pointing forward towards the camera, but don't pick it up in front of you. Go straight up to the side. And from here, double roundhouse kick. 1, 2, and down. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. So let's do that a few more times. Heel up, open to the side. 2, pow, pow. Again, heel up, open to the side. 3, pow, pow. 2 more, heel up, open sideways. 4, pow, pow. And one more. Heel up, open to the side, sideways, pow, pow. And be super aware of how your body is literally facing to the side, but your eyes are going forward. This is the end position of a roundhouse kick, right? If I'm standing forward, I don't do a different kind of roundhouse. Instead, I rotate into the same position that I was a moment ago and then do the kick, right? This is just how we're starting to get things lined up, but you want to be able to pivot on this foot, turn your body sideways, keep the knee forward, pow, and still have all of that. Good. So let's do the same thing with the left leg now. Standing the other way, left leg in front, closer to the camera, body completely sideways. Then pull the heel back, extend from the hips, so your knee is pointing at the target, but don't point your knee to the side or 45. The knee, as you open the hips, points straight at the target. Double roundhouse kicks. 1, pow, pow, and back down. Good. Foot back, open, 2, pow, pow, and down. Good. Heel back, open, 3, pow, pow. Good. Keep the body sideways. You can turn that back foot almost facing back there if you want to. Heel back, open, 4, pow, pow. Good. And one more. Heel back, open, 5, pow, pow. Good. Good, good, good. Now, one more flow. This is going to be a little faster. Since we have the idea of this hip turning for the roundhouse kick, I want to do a front kick, double roundhouse, where I front kick, pow, with the left leg. Then I do this double roundhouse, pow, pow, with the right leg. Front, pow, pow, double round, pow, front, pow, pow, double round. Now notice something about my body. It's going from here to here to here to here. As I do the front kick, pow, I'm facing forward. As I do the roundhouse kick, I'm facing sideways, pow, pow, and doing both kicks, but my knee is still pointing forward as I do the roundhouse kick. That's super key, because what's happening then is now I'm not trying to do some roundhouse kick over there or sending in a side kick or anything like that. Instead, I'm just kind of going into it with the body turn to make it powerful. Pow. Good. So ready? Front kick with the left. Everybody left leg back. Hands up. We'll front kick with the left. Land in front. Then we'll double roundhouse kick with the right. Pow, pow. Land in front. Ready? And as I count, do the whole 3 kick combo. 1. Pow. Good. 2. Good. 3. Pow. Pow, pow. Awesome. I'll count a little slower if we need it. 4. Pow. Pow, pow. Good. And 5. Pow. Pow, pow. Awesome. Where are your hands? Are they aware? Are they alive? I sometimes keep my hands up. I sometimes lower the front. They're different sparring or fighting styles. But whatever you're doing with your hands, make sure you know where they are. If you're lowering this front hand as you roundhouse kick and kind of a cross pull, that kind of indicates that you're just kind of letting it swing because you're twisting from the core, right? And that's something that we don't want to do. Know where your hand is. If your hand goes forward, like they do in MMA sometimes when you roundhouse kick, that's fine as long as it's deliberate, right? If it's accidental, now it's a problem. Awesome. Other side. Right leg back, put. The drill is right leg front snap kick, pow, land in front. Left leg double roundhouse kick, pow, pow, with the body sideways. Land in front again. So we're skipping back each time so we don't get too close to the camera, computer, TV, tablet, phone, whatever you're watching on. Make sure that you keep adequate space. Good. Right leg back. Front kick, double roundhouse kick. 1, pow, pow, hey. Good. 2. Good. 3. Hey. 4. Good. And 5. Good. Something that's great to do with your home practice is think about what and where your targets are. Like I didn't give this direction specifically, but as I was doing the drill, our front kick went straight to the solar plexus. My first roundhouse kick went kind of to the ribs, and the second one was going pow to the head. I had a target in mind. If I was sparring with Bob, he would have tasted those 3 kicks, pow, 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 exactly on target. That was the goal, right? On the air, use your imagination. Even if you don't have a lovely Bob who lets you hit him because he's been hurt, doesn't matter. What you can do is you can see something in your head. You can imagine somebody right in front of you. Picture, visualize, and then aim, pow, for a target. What this is doing is it's hopefully making your kick even stronger and better anyway, because you're not just kind of kicking aimlessly, and then now I'm kicking soft or slow or lazy. Instead, I'm actually visualizing a real good kick. And from there, I do a powerful strike, something that's effective, something that's real, and a little more authentic, a little more, and it's better exercise and practice anyway. One thing that you don't want to do with your home practice is have floppy joints, right? You don't want to kick and flop your foot out. That's not even good for your knee. You'll end up hurting yourself a long time. Or you don't want to flop your leg or let things be loose after you kick, right? If you do all this power and force and let something dangle, it's going to hurt your tendons, your joints, all these moving parts. You want to have things under control. They can be mobile, they can be stretching, they can be flexible, but not floppy, right? Floppy or loose like a fish, out of control floppy, where you feel your ankle pop or something. Just keep it under control. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So we did front kick, axe kick, roundhouse. There's only one more that I intend on looking at, the side kick, and then we're gonna kind of move these things together in a flow, right? When I did one of the other videos about one of the forms or another, we talked about a side kick ready, the form one in a form. And this is the biggest, most important thing was that instead of keeping the knee forward for that form, you turn the knee away and then stomp with the heel. And that was kind of key for a fundamental side kick in the form. But it's also key for a fundamental side kick anywhere, right? Because if we're talking about a front snap kick, the first step was point the knee forward and then pow, do the kick, right? And we talked a lot about the axe kick, which is just like a front snap kick, and then you drop it down. So the knee comes forward again, right? Exactly, one moment. And then for the roundhouse kick, you pick it up, and yes, you rotate the hips, but the knee stays pointed forward. Pow, and then you strike, right? But for the side kick, where, what direction are we bending, and how? So if this stick is the lower part of my leg, by that I mean the calf, the shin, all of this, right? And this black stopper is my foot. Then what I want to do is I want to point it completely sideways, and this hooked part is my knee, and the knee is completely behind the heel, pow, and stomping. If I'm going to kick this way, the knee comes up and points completely the opposite direction of wherever I'm kicking. So I get a very direct pow, stomp. That seems easy enough, but it's not what happens. Most of the time, people will come up and do like they're doing a roundhouse kick and end their foot in a side kick shape, but they came this way. Look at how my knee is pointing directly towards you in the camera. I'm extending my leg like a roundhouse, but just having the foot shaped like what I think is an axe kick or a side kick, right? That's just a ball of the foot roundhouse now. It's not a side kick. A side kick has to be a stomp. Bam. If we talk about this being how we chamber for a roundhouse kick and then just extending the hips, right? Well, a side kick is this, and you stomp. This is a roundhouse where the knee is still pointing directly down or directly forward, right? And this is a side kick where the knee comes completely up, or when you rotate it, completely away. Look, my backside is facing the camera now. That's maybe an exaggeration, but kind of not really, because what's happening is now my body, my belly button is facing away, so that I stomp, pow, in that direction. I can still open the hips up like a roundhouse, but I open it up from here, then I open it up by lifting up the foot, so the heel is pointing forward, right? I don't pick it up forward and rotate it that way to open. Good, good. So let's imagine this then. Everybody face forward at the camera. What we're going to do is we're going to exaggerate a regular side kick, and we're going to do it to either side. Instead of stepping, we're just going to pull back. So pick up your right leg. I don't know if you're following in reverse. If you are, you can pick up the opposite leg if that's easier for you, right? Pick up your right leg until your knee is about hip height. Now, turn the leg sideways so that the heel is pointing one way and the knee is pointing another way. Chamber it by pulling towards the knee side and kick, pow, by stomping towards the heel side and pull it back. Good. Let's do that a few more times. We come up, completely flat like a table, knee side, heel side, knee side, and we're getting a full chamber. What we're doing is we're not mixing any roundhouse into that. If this is a roundhouse and this is a side kick, we don't want this. This is a mix of both, right? For the side kick, look at how my foot is in front of me. For the roundhouse, look at how the foot is behind me. For the hybrid, which is neither, look at how the heel is directly underneath me. No bueno. And it's the same for a side kick. If I'm gonna do a side kick to the side, but my foot is right under me, I'm gonna extend out almost more like a roundhouse. What I need to do is turn the body sideways, and the foot isn't here underneath me, it's up and to the side, pointing directly at what I'm gonna kick. If I'm gonna kick towards you all, you see how the heel isn't here under my body, it's pointing forward. Pow, I extend it and I flex it. But the whole time the heel is pointing forward, right? Good, let's do a few more. Up with the right leg, turn it, chamber, kick, back. Good, 2 more. Up, rotate, chamber, kick, back. 1 more. Up, rotate, chamber, kick, back, down. Good, same thing, 5 more on the other leg. Pick up the left leg or the other leg, whichever one you haven't done yet. Now don't keep it tucked under you, keep it kind of forward and turn the whole body and the kick sideways. Look, my heel is pointing this way, my left, but my belly button is pointing this way, my right? Opposite direction, so is the knee. I chamber, stomp, pull it back. And I don't tuck it under me and do a roundhouse. I keep the heel pointing forward, forward, forward the entire time. 2, up, turn, kick, back. Good. 3, up, turn, kick, back. 2 more, up, turn, kick, back. And 5, up, turn, kick, back. Good. Now, I want to do one of my favorite sparring side kicks. There are some fancy ones, but this is one of the simplest ones there is. But it's also one of the trickiest ones to do correctly and powerfully. Let me demonstrate on Bob for a second. It's a back leg side kick. And the huge change with a back leg side kick for anybody who knows the black belt forms, Kodio or 7, is that it's very easy to turn it into a roundhouse. If you step forward and then use the leg that's behind you to come up and do what you think is a side kick, it might just be a roundhouse like we talked about that ends in that position. And instead, you want to make sure that you chamber the knee, pow, and stomp the way we've been talking about, right? Well, there's a fast way to do that where you kind of flex the knee up like a front kick and then turn the hips as you do a side kick, kind of like this. Or as long as possible, the heel is pointing forward. Look, the heel is forward now, pow, and it extends. I want you to do that facing forward, facing the camera, and I'll do a few with you. I will do side kicks where we come around and kind of skip in, moving forward. Because you're trying to kick high again, right? And you're super tight in the hamstring. So you don't need to do this to the head, do this to the belly height, that'll be fine. I'll do it to the head because I have the mobility, but that's okay, right? Because if you see me go like this, pow, and kick way up there to my own head height, that's only because I have the movement in my hips. If you're pulling too high, you're gonna lean your head back and maybe fall down, or maybe hurt your hamstring or your back or wherever it is that we're tight, right? So modify. There's no rule that says you have to kick super high right now. Maybe using our break time, do some toe touches, do some stretches, reaching and pulling our hamstrings. I've showed you all some stretches too for the hammies. Do them now. We got the time. But for the rest of us, let's do those side kicks facing forward. With the right leg back, we're gonna chamber so the heel is forward, pow, and then extend where the kick is forward. And the reason why I want to do them forward is so that you can really see how before, during, and after the kick, my heel is pointing forward. See? Before, the heel isn't pointing here off to the side, it's pointing forward at you. During the kick, it's pointing forward at you. And after the kick, it's pointing forward at you. It doesn't come back and face over there and flex like a hook kick. Before, pow, during, pow, after, pow. I'm a huge fan of verbal cues. So I recommend in the comfort of your own home where I can't hear you, nobody can hear you, say before, during, and after as you do the kick to make sure that the heel is before, during, and after flexed forward. Good. Starting with the right leg at your own speed. 1, pow. 2, pow. And you don't need to do it as fast as me. You could go before, during, after. And pull it up there. I'll count with enough time, and if you do it fast or slow, we'll be okay. 3, pow. 4, and 5. Good, good, good. How exciting. Be nice, family. Other leg, left leg back. So again, make sure that before, the heel is pointing forward, during, pow, and after, pow, the heel is pointing forward every single time. Do the kick as fast as you can do it correctly, but by all means, if you have to slow it down, that's fine. And don't sully my comment section with all the trash talk, please. Relax. In fact, if you're commenting, I feel like, are we really doing the kicks? Called out, right? So, left leg is back. 1, pow. 2, pow. Good. Controlled, fast. I'll count a little slower. 3, pow. 4, pow. And 5, pow. Good, 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 good. Hands on the hips, rotate, rotate, rotate. Good. We have all the puzzle pieces that I want to work with right now. We have our front kicks, we have our axe kicks, we have our roundhouse kicks, and we have our side kicks, right? And if we do a turnaround side kick, it's the same thing as the regular side kick. It's maybe even a little easier, where you turn by spinning around in the same place on 2 feet, and then as you pick your foot up, you make sure that the heel is pointing forward and stomp in whatever direction you're going to kick, right? If I'm facing forward, I don't step turn around and get closer to the camera. Instead, I stay exactly where I am and spin. See, my legs are crossed because I spun around in the same place. I didn't do any switching either. Slow down. Make sure that you're just standing in place, turning around, maybe crisscrossing your feet, but don't actually take any steps. And from here, the leg that's in front when you're crossed is going to point the heel forward, pop, and extend, right? Or turn around side kick, turn up kick, all the steps there, right? Well, I want to do that after a front snap kick and get a little bit of a flow going again. So most and many of you guys already know how to do a turnaround side kick, but by all means, I'll count slow enough that if you want to go through the steps again and do a kind of 1, 2, and reset, we'll go slow enough that that can happen too if you want to make sure that everything is happening. So front kick, turnaround side kick is the flow. Only like 15, 20 more minutes. We'll go for an hour this time, not make it such a long class and hit some basics and drills. So ready? Front kick, turn around, side kick. We front kick with the left leg, pow, land in front, turn in the same place, side kick with the right leg, land in front. So I'm spiraling in a circle. I keep turning, pow, pow, to the right, pow, pow. I keep spinning in this direction, right? Right, pun intended. All right, so left leg back, and 1, pow, 2, pow, 1, pow, 2, pow. I'll count a little slower. 1, pow, 2, pow, 1, pow, 2, pow. One more. 1, pow, 2, pow. Good, good, good. And keep in mind, we're practicing these things stationary. If you could move forward, that's one thing that would be great to do. And if you could move backwards, that's another thing that you could do. These things don't have to happen skipping. We're skipping backwards as we do a front kick. Pow. But you could just as easily front kick forward, or even if you really got a good skip going, pow, front kick backwards. Same with a turnaround side kick. You can do that, pow, forward. You can also, depending on how your side kicks are, pow, do that backwards, pow, with a bit of a hop skip. Good, good, good. Okay. For the last few minutes, I want to, keeping in mind that many people are on a limited space, or in a limited space, I want to do a different style of kicking. A little bit more of a mantis kung fu, wing chun style of kick, more like from a cat stance, because it's a little more space conscious. And the kicks are sometimes low, sometimes middle height, rarely to the head height. Do it slower. I'm going very fast, aren't I? Well, what can you do to minimize being dizzy? Excellent question. Well, one, if you're not comfortable going that fast, like Brianna was, don't go that fast, right? There's no need to. But two, look and breathe. Being in control of your eyes and getting enough oxygen is key to maintaining your sort of balance and equilibrium while spinning, right? So if I keep my eyes forward and locked, and then I spin, that's gonna make me dizzier than if I look forward and turn, and then look forward quickly and turn, staying my eyes forward as long as possible. That's one thing. But another thing is my breath, right? If I make very shallow breaths and I'm not in control of my breathing, I'll run out of air. And when you're lightheaded, you get dizzy too. And a lot of times when we're doing something very complicated, like spinning and working, we're breathing very shallow as we try to spin, as we're not turning our head properly, and we get dizzy upon dizzy upon dizzy. So actually, slow down, breathe, and relax will make all the difference, right? I do my front kick with an exhale. I breathe in, turn and exhale. Breathe in, exhale. Breathe in, exhale. Every piece of work is gonna get a breath, right? And it can be hopefully more of a relaxed breath. I'm breathing loud on purpose so you can hear me breathing, right? But we don't actually want to be going as you're doing the drill. You'll get exhausted. You don't really want to hear the breathing. And as you start breathing louder, you're probably just getting more and more exhausted. So pace yourself. Build up the cardio over time. And instead, go slower, relax. And that should help you do the kick smoother and more relaxed. Because really, I'm looking for more consistency than I am just rapid speed. And if you want to do something fast for cardio's sake, then do an exercise like a kick down where you kick and touch the floor. And that's a good one where you're not spinning, where you're getting your cardio up and you're learning to breathe and all these things. But then when you're doing your kicks for stability, control, balance, don't do those over and over again, especially if they're a spinning kick, until you're used to how to turn your head properly. Do them slow, relax. Like I said, I'm on camera, but you guys are at home doing your own thing, and I appreciate the honesty and integrity that you're trying to keep up with. And I'm trying to go nice and slow. But also, you can go slower than me to make sure you're doing the kick right. That's fine, right? Good, good, good. Now, to move on, this is recorded, so that last drill is there. I want to end with and I know the time says 53, but my watch says 49. So what I'll do is I'll go until my watch says 6. We'll end probably just a smidge over an hour. I want to end with these kind of more controlled check style kicks. Well, all of them are happening almost leg height, pow, pow, but also really core height mostly. That's going to be our main target right now. We could kick to the head with like crescent kicks and stuff, but we're not going to do that right now. I want to be more focused on doing like a pow, pow, a front kick, knife to the foot side kick. Okay, so for this kind of technique, what I'm doing is I'm really focusing more on the snap of a front kick and on the knife part of the foot of a side kick. So we talked about a very detailed side kick, very detailed taekwondo side kick a minute ago, right? Where you pick the leg up, point that heel forward, and stop with all that power. pulling the toes back, and that is a side kick. That is how a side kick should be done in Taekwondo. You're doing your Taekwondo sparring, you're turning on side kick. We like to see this good, powerful side kick for breaking the board. Good, powerful side kick. That being said, it isn't the only way to side kick. Okay, cool. Welcome, Steph. You're here for the last couple of minutes. There's a type of side kick that they do in like Southern Mantis style Kung Fu or in Wing Chun. That's more of a knife foot side kick. By the knife of the foot, I mean, when you do a knife hand, also known as a chop, you're hitting with this part of your hand, right? The edge of the hand. Instead of like a palm strike or a back fist or a punch, the knife is the edge side, as if you had a sword and you were chopping with it, right? Well, the knife of the foot is the same thing. Instead of stomping with the bottom of the heel, this outside edge, the thin side, is the knife of your foot. And for some of these Kung Fu styles, a side kick happens with the knife edge of the foot, with the foot, the ankle turned over flat, right? And this is for faster, more snapping strike side kicks. This is not for power side kicks. If you're trying to kick hard, push somebody back, you're doing one of these stomping side kicks, and you should be, or turn on side kick with your heel. And I'm not saying you can't break a board with a knife edge side kick. What I'm saying is it's less powerful mechanically by the structure of your body and the leverage and the physics involved in doing it. But it's still good to know. It's interesting. You can still get plenty of power. Pow, pow. And it can be very surprising to do double kicks like that. You hop in, and then extend again for a side kick. I almost don't even want to call this a side kick because I feel like it's confusing because it looks like it's flexing around from the knee and it's not stomping with the heel. It's usually translated as a side kick, but I'm going to make an executive decision right now, and I'm going to call it a, what should we call it? I'm going to call it a mantis kick because it's from mantis style Kung Fu. Pow, because it's so not the way we do a side kick right now. I kind of want to distinguish it with a whole different name, and hopefully that helps us not get confusion. So we're going to face forward, and with our back leg, we're going to try to double these up, right? I don't need to turn my body over as much as a side kick or a mantis kick. Instead, I'm going to 1, 2 to the body. Where if you saw me on Bob a minute ago, it's 1, pow, the front kick's touching the body. I pull the knee back, and then I turn the foot sideways and strike again. Now, normally this kind of thing is done with a forward jump, as if you're jumping and trying to kick somebody with the first leg, but then maybe they step back and you land with the knife foot, like this, where I'm far away. Let's pretend like Bob is standing close to me, and as I begin to kick, I see him dive back, pow, pow, and I turn the foot over and land with that second kick, pow, pow, to sort of make sure. Now, I know that a lot of people maybe don't have enough space to do a lunging jump forward from this far away, which is why it's fine if we just do the kick by itself like this, pow, pow, without the lunging jump forward. Good. It's also just good to be in control, and sometimes maybe you want to do that. Another way that this kick is done, in this other martial arts style, it's okay to kick to the legs. What you'll sometimes see happen is a pow, a sweep, pow, or a front kick to the knee, pow, pow, then a kick to the solar plexus or the gut, right? So let's practice 2 to the body, just to say in our good practice, but we'll do a front, pow, pow, inside like so, a front and a mantis kick. Ready? And 1, pow, pow. Good. 2, pow, pow. Good. 3, pow, pow. 4, pow, pow. Good. And 5, pow, pow. Good. Other leg. 1, pow, pow. I'm doing 2 kicks. See, a front kick, pow, and a mantis kick, pow, like so, with the edge of the foot. 2, pow, pow. If you have the space, skipping forward. 3, pow, pow. If you don't, that's fine. 4, pow, pow. And 5, pow, pow. And these are fast, light kicks. On some other day, we'll maybe go over like crescent kicks and hook kicks and like do spinning variations and stuff like that, right? And when you do a crescent kick, what we kind of want to look at is they're not for power. You're not going to do a kick like this, pow, and give the same amount of power as a stomping forward kick or a side kick stomping. But you don't need to. Sometimes it's enough to smack the head and turn it to set yourself up for a more powerful kick. It's kind of like the dynamic between a jab and a punch in boxing. The front hand is a quick one. The back hand with the body rotation is the powerful one. In the same way, you can sometimes have a light, pow, fast crescent kick, pow, lead into a powerful axe kick or roundhouse or something, right? Or these two, pow, pow, could be the opening for powerful punches, pow, pow, or another stronger turn-around side kick. Good, so we're giving ourselves options to open up. Okay. A few more minutes. Does anybody actually, the time says 1 hour. I still have 5 minutes left on my watch. So what I'll do is for the last couple minutes, does anybody have any requests in terms of kicking, something that's confusing, something we worked on, something we didn't, that's doable in 5 minutes? I'm kind of looking at the comments and all I see is pow, pow, pow. Which is something. We're thinking about the power. You think you're good? Yeah. I mean, the idea is just to get some kicks going. Okay, then actually, pow, pow. Let's look at this for the last few minutes. I want to see getting into this side key thing. Yeah, fair enough. Does that mean tornado kick and not tomato kick? I do have a buddy named Mateo, but not a Taekwondo guy. So, tornado kick in 4 minutes. I'll give you the definition. I said I do want to do another class where we focus more on turning kicks, and definitely that's a time to expand into tornadoes of anything. What I'll say is this. When we talk about a tornado, all we mean is a jump turn, right? That doesn't mean anything more. So this is our tornado roundhouse kick, pow, right? But this is our tornado side kick, pow. And this is our tornado hook kick, pow, where I do a jump, a 360, and then any kick that I'm going to do. This is a tornado axe kick, right? But the goal is whatever kick you're doing is just a jump 360 turn. And there's two fundamental different ways of jumping and turning. Not that I'll go into all of that right now. What I'll say is this. In general, make sure you have both feet off the ground. In general, make sure that you're chambered. And in general, make sure that you look where you're going. If I want to do one of the kicks that we just did right now in more of a tornado style with a lower jump and not a full tornado thing. Your brother, right, not brother, but what's his name? Yeah. I was like, you don't have a brother, but I remember what you mean. If you're trying to do any kick, even like one of these, como se dice? What did I call it? A mantis kick. Pow! The goal is that you're hopping up and landing on the back leg, or hopping, landing on the front leg if you turn forward for one of the turnaround kicks. There's really too much to go into in 2 minutes about tornadoes. I would say this. I talked about the structure of some key kicks right now, like a roundhouse. And many of you guys already know how to do a tornado, and that's fine. But one of my biggest things, and the last thing I'll mention, is the importance of stability of the back, of the spine, when you do any of these turning kicks, right? So if I'm doing a front kick, and I lean back when I front kick, I have a less powerful front kick because I moved away. I didn't get my body weight into the front kick involved, etc., all these things. But if I'm doing a turning kick and I lean back, it's even more precarious because now I'm getting thrown way off balance and out of the shot and falling over almost. So keeping your back straight, tall, long from the back of the neck, right? Ribs in, very balanced and under control. As you spin to do any kind of tornado kick is super essential. So review before we do another class on like kicks that turn. Review, making sure that you're doing all the kicks you normally do, even the rotating ones like a roundhouse kick, without leaning back. And even if you need to kind of hinge a little bit to make your side kicks high, make sure that you don't lean your head with it, but stay balanced as you hinge, right? Okay, cool. Well, that's time. For a class like this, I don't see the need to go into as much of a deep dive as I did with the other forms ones, and those exist. And for anyone who wants to go back and review forms and the other videos I did, you'll notice that I added to the comments a timestamp, beginning skipping most of the talking and going straight into when I start working on each form. So like for the first video, there's a comment, basic 1 starts at 5 minutes and whatever seconds. Basic 2 starts at 15, 20, whatever it was. There's a timestamp that you can just click right on and go straight to that. And the same thing for the video on Pinon 4, Pinon 5, and beside. Hopefully that makes it a little easier for people to review and self-practice. Maybe you're like, you plan on testing and you like really need to work on your Pinon 5, but you don't want to go through the whole 3-hour video on Pinon 4, Pinon 5, and beside. Then just jump straight to that Pinon 5 or beside section. We'll look at crescent kicks another day. Lucas's class went from 4 to 5. And I kind of focus on just a few of the basic 7 kicks, the front kick, axe kick, roundhouse, and side kick. So the next time, we can look at the 3 that we missed, the hook kick, inside crescent kick, and outside crescent kick, that makes 7. And we can also do some variations, like the tornadoes and turn-on side kicks, and other turning versions and stuff like that. Cool, cool, cool. For those of you who are still with me, we'll end a little like we began. Good class. I'm glad we got a little bit of movement going on. I'm glad that we got to work on some kicks. Glad that we got to move. I don't know. I'll see when I do the next one. In the meantime, heels together, hands at your sides, and we'll bow out. Yeah. Giddy up. Yeah. Good, 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 good. Thank you, everybody, for watching, for participating, for being there. And I will see you when I see you. Yeah.